Your phone is stealing money from you right now, and you have no idea how much. I calculated my number, and honestly, I felt sick. Over 30 years with compound interest, we're talking about $1.8 million. dollars. So I need you to do something with me right now. Because by the end of this video, you're gonna know exactly what your number is. And honestly, you might not like it. So pull up your phone, go to settings, and go to screen time. This is my actual screen time, 10 hours and 15 minutes a day. Hi, I'm Rama, I'm 33, I work in finance, and I spend way too much time on my phone. And before you judge me, trust me, I'm judging myself enough for both of us. And if you're sitting there thinking, okay, but how much is my scrolling time actually costing me? Stick around because we're about to do the math together. And trust me, it's worse than you think. Alright, before I show you the math, let me be real with you for a second. This is my actual screen time from last week. And honestly, I'm not proud of it. On my worst day, I spent over 5 hours on social media. 5 hours. Now, you might be thinking, but Rama, you're a content creator. You need to be on social media. And sure, some of it is work, but a lot of it isn't. Like, do I need to watch 11 different videos about organizing hacks at 11 p.m.? No. Do I need to see what my high school classmate's cousin is having for dinner? Also, no. And here's what makes this worse. When I was at my absolute lowest point after my separation, when I had $0 and I was living in survival mode, I was scrolling even more. I'd spend hours on Instagram looking at other people's lives, feeling worse about mine, and doing absolutely nothing to change the situation. I was literally choosing to scroll instead of applying for jobs, instead of learning new skills, instead of doing anything productive. And if you're feeling called out right now, trust me, I get it. We're in this together. But we need to talk about what this is actually costing us. Okay, let's do some math. And don't worry, I'm gonna make this super simple. Let's say you scroll for 2 hours a day. The average person actually scrolls for 2.5 hours, but let's be conservative and say you're above average, so 2 hours. In Canada, the average hourly wage is around $34. So if we take 2 hours times 365 days in a year, that's 730 hours. Times $34 an hour, that's $24,500 per year. $24,000. That's over a year of rent. That's 10 round trips back home to India. That's a solid emergency fund and a reliable used car. That's a significant chunk of money. But here's where it gets worse. And this is where my finance brain really kicked in. You're not just losing the dollar value of that time, you're losing the opportunity to earn more, to learn skills that could increase your income, to build something that could pay you for years. Like, let's just say instead of scrolling 2 hours a day, you spend just one of those hours learning a skill, taking an online course, building a side hustle, networking, whatever. Studies show that upskilling can increase your earning potential by anywhere from 15 to 66% depending on the skill. Let's be conservative and say that it increases your income by just $10,000 a year. That's $34,500 per year you're missing out on. Over 10 years, $345,000. $345,000 just because you were scrolling. Okay, now I'm going to put on my finance hat for a minute because this is where the numbers get really wild. Let's take that $24,500 we calculated, the value of your scrolling time per year. Now let's just pretend that you somehow converted that wasted time into actual dollars and invested it. If you invested $24,500 in a basic index fund, let's say it returns 7% annually, which is conservative for a long term investment. Here's what happens. After 10 years, $339,000. After 20 years, $1 million. After 30 years, $2.3 million. $2.3 million from the time spending scrolling through TikTok and Instagram. And I know what you're thinking, but Rama, I can't magically turn my scrolling time into $24,000. And you're right, but here's what you can do. You can reclaim that time. Use it to learn a skill that increases your income by even just $5,000 a year. Invest that extra money. Build a side hustle that makes you an extra few $100s a month. Like when I finally got serious about my finances, I started using my scrolling time differently. I started learning about content creation. I started working on my businesses. I started actually doing things rather than just consuming content about doing things. And honestly, I'm still not perfect, but I'm better than I was, and that's what matters. But here's the thing that the math doesn't capture, and this is important. The real cost of doom scrolling isn't just the money, it's the life you're not living while you're staring at your phone. It's the anxiety you feel after spending an hour comparing yourself to people who are showing you the highlight reel while you're living your behind the scenes. It's the sleep you're not getting because you're scrolling in bed at midnight. It's the relationships you're not building because you're on your phone instead of being present with the people around you. It's the ideas you're not having because your brain never has quiet time to think anymore. When I was at my lowest, scrolling wasn't just costing me time or money, it was keeping me stuck. It was an escape from dealing with my actual problems. It was easier to watch other people's lives than to fix my own. And honestly, sometimes it still is. Like when I'm stressed about work or worried about money, my first instinct is to just grab my phone and zone out. But now I at least know I'm doing it. And I try to catch myself and ask, is this serving me right now or am I just trying to avoid something? Alright, enough doom and gloom. Let's talk about what we're actually going to do about this. First thing, you already did this at the beginning of this video. You checked your screen time, you have your number. No judgment, whatever that number is, it's just information. We're not shaming ourselves here, we're just becoming aware. Now, here's what I want you to do. Step 1, calculate your cost. Take your daily scrolling hours, multiply by 365, then multiply by your hourly wage. If you don't know your hourly wage, here's the quick way. Take your annual salary and divide it by 2080 hours. That's roughly how many work hours are in a year. That's your annual cost. I made a free calculator, link is in the description if you want to make this easier. Step 2, set one limit. Not 17 new rules, just one. For me, it's no phone in bed after 10 p.m. That's it. That one rule has probably saved me 2 hours a week right there. Maybe for you, it's setting app limits on Instagram. Maybe it's keeping your phone in another room while you work. Maybe it's deleting TikTok on weekdays. Whatever it is, be specific and make it small enough so that you'll actually do it. Step 3, replace the habit. So here's the thing, you can't just remove a habit, you have to replace it with something else. So when you feel the urge to scroll, what are you gonna do instead? For me, when I catch myself reaching for my phone, I try to ask, do I actually want to scroll or am I just bored, anxious, or avoiding something? And if I'm just bored, I have a list on my phone of better things to do with those 10 minutes. Step 4, track your progress. Check your screen time every Sunday. Is it going down? Even by 15 minutes per day, that's progress. That's 7.5 hours a month you got back. 7.5 hours is almost a full workday. Imagine having an extra day each month to work on your goals, your income, your life. Look, I'm not sitting here and telling you to delete all your apps and never scroll again. I'm a content creator, that would be ridiculous. But honestly, sometimes scrolling is fine. Sometimes you just need to zone out and watch videos of golden retrievers or whatever. But what I am saying is this, be intentional, know what it's costing you, and then decide if that's the price you're willing to pay. Because here's what I wish someone had told me when I was at rock bottom, scrolling my life away. That time is the only thing you can never get back. Money you can rebuild. I'm living proof of that. But time, it's gone. So, what are you gonna do with yours? Drop a comment with your screen time. And I'm serious, no judgment. Let's be accountable to each other. And if you're committing to one change to reduce the scrolling time, tell me what it is. Subscribe if you want more content about building wealth, productivity, and figuring out this whole adult life thing together. And if you want the calculator I made to figure out your doom scrolling cost, I'll put a link in the description. I'll see you next week. Now get off your phone and go to something that matters.